From the writer of the Ginger Dead Man trilogy comes Return of the Living Dead Necropolis. This has a 3.3 on IMDb. Not deservingly so. This actually is not that bad. And I've only heard bad things about this movie. It was a straight to DVD film, back to back with part 5. If it is part 5, which one's part 4 or 5? 4 and 5, Necropolis and Rave to the Grave, came out on the same exact date. And I don't think they have a continuing story one to the other. I don't think Rave to the Grave has anything to do with this one, although I did read that they have similar actors, so maybe, I don't know. But yeah, which one's 4, which one's 5, which one should I review first? I have no idea, but we're going to start with Necropolis now. This movie is surprisingly entertaining. It's not that bad. It's not a 3.3, I can tell you that. This should be in the 4s, upper 4s, 5. Like, I've seen movies with 5s on IMDb that I thought were 3 or less. So you can't trust IMDb sometimes because it's not that accurate. I mean, it's subjective. What you think is shit, I might think is gold. And what I think is gold, you think is shit. But this is not a 3.3, so yeah. Return of the Living Dead 4. This tells the story about Trioxin getting to this mega corporation called Hydra Tech, and they're experimenting and they're trying to create biomechanical, uber soldiers, like zombie soldiers, and this gang of kids. One of their friends gets hurt and sent to this place instead of the hospital, and they find out, so they go there to find out what the hell's going on, and they see what they're doing, and then zombies break loose, and then they have to fight off the horde of zombies. So, let's get into the things that I like about this movie. I like that they hold on to the whole brains and, trioxin elements from the other movies. They keep that in here. It's still intact. So you got some continuity here with that. They're saying brains. The zombies can talk. They don't run anymore, so that's a bit of a shame. They did kind of run in part 1 and I think part 3 or 2. Maybe they kind of speed walked in the other ones, but I remember in part 1 they ran. I like zombies that run. They're more scary to me. These ones don't run, so that's a shame, but I like that they still talk, and I like that there's little winks to the first one. There's a line in here from one of the zombies that's a direct callback to part 1 with the whole send more paramedics. There's a zombie in here that says send more security guards, which I thought was really funny. And I like the makeup on the zombies. They look pretty good. And there's some decent gore here. Not a whole lot, but you see like a head get ripped off and like innards getting pulled out. There's not a whole lot of that. It's very, minimal. Just a couple of moments of gore, but at least there's some in here. So, and I like that this movie doesn't take itself way too serious. It's still humorous. It's not like slapsticky or over the top, like obnoxious and just cartoonish or anything like part 2 was to me, where it was just a little too much and a little too wacky and not really landing for me. There were some humorous moments in this one for sure that actually made me laugh. And I like that this one kind of went more action oriented. This one feels like an action zombie movie. A low budget one though, but it still has its own flavor than the other ones. The first one was more, low budget horror comedy. The second one was way more just comedy, more like for children. It felt more PG. The third one was like a love story, way more serious. And this one's a horror comedy action. It's got a lot more action, a lot more gunfire, machine guns, miniguns. It just feels bigger than the other ones. As for the negatives, the audio mixing is pretty bad. There's moments where the music is drowning out what they're saying, and I couldn't hear a damn word. Fix that. I hate movies where the music just gets very loud, and no matter how much you turn it up, you can't hear what's being said. You need subtitles, I guess. There's way too many bike montages, like dirt bikes. It just kept cutting to dirt bikes again and again and again in the first act, and I was like, enough with it already. It felt like this guy was trying to shoot a music video or something. The acting is pretty poor, to be expected. It's a straight to DVD movie, but it's fine from some people, but some other people, they're pretty bad, especially the main guy. Like, the main guy should be your best actor. This main dude, whatever his name is, he is awful, absolutely awful. And the characters, basically all across the board, all of them are very bland. A couple of them stick out a little bit, like Becky was fine. She's the dorky girl, even though she looks incredible. Like, I date her. Like, just because she has glasses and she's got, like, a weird hairdo or something. Like, she's the dork. Like, I'm not buying it. She's attractive. Some of these characters just weren't even set up at all either. Like, they had a big gang of friends go to this place, and then a lot of them are getting picked off left and right, and you're like, who was that person? Like, some of them literally felt like they had no dialogue at all in the whole film, but they're like their best friends, and no one takes death all that serious. Like, they're not like crying, there's no remorse or anything. Like, there's some bad writing in here, some bad performances, but it's fun. I still had fun with it because of how bad some of it was. And they introduced these two, like, mega zombie like soldiers, like the ones with like machine guns and saw blade hands and shit, and they don't even utilize them at all. They die like instantly. It's like, what? We only get to see that like Cenobite looking zombie with the saw blade hand like chop some bitch's head off. Unforgivable. Like, if you're gonna introduce that type of zombie, use it. And the third act could have been a little bit more action packed. I mean, there's a lot of gunfire going off, but there's still not really a whole lot going on. Like, there's a quick zombie fight. Like, we actually have a zombie fight where the zombie is like punching and kicking this other guy. Like, they're in a brawl. You don't usually get that in a zombie flick. But yeah, like the third act could have been more, ramped up with the action and gore, but it's fine. So, final thoughts. The movie's okay. It's definitely not as bad as what these other sites are telling you, like IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes. Like, it's not that bad. It doesn't deserve a 3. I think this movie knows what it is. It's just trying to have a good time. It's still humorous, but it's a lot more action packed than the other ones comparatively. And I had a decent time with it. I can't say it's, wasted time. If you like zombie movies, if you like action zombie movies, this one's definitely not the worst. I've seen plenty of bad zombie movies recently, and this is not one of them. So when it comes to Return of the Living Dead, Necropolis, if you've been hesitant before, consider giving it a watch. Stream it, borrow it from a friend, or rent it at Redbox. So this movie opens up with a Hypertech ad, and it very much reminds me of the whole ad from Cyberdyne when I went to Universal Studios and rode that ride. Is it in the movie Terminator 2 also? I don't think so. But I was getting some Cyberdyne vibes, if it is called Cyberdyne, whatever that corporation is in Terminator 2, the ride. But yeah, so that's just a quick setup for the company so you know who we're dealing with here. And they're at Russia, or actually, no, it's like Ukraine, where the nuclear plant blew up back in like the 90s or some shit. So yeah, they're there, and the trioxin's there, and it's the last of its kind. This is the last barrel left, and somehow it got from America to Ukraine. Not sure how it got there. And so instead of green gas, it's green ooze now. This Russian guy goes up to the barrel, he gets like green slime on his hand, and it turns him into a zombie. So that was a bit different from before. And then we meet the dork of the movie, Becky. She's not a dork to me, but I don't get it. Like, they throw glasses on her, and they're like, look, she's a dork, and she's clumsy. She's running her bicycle into cars. And the guy's like, what is that, the 4th time this month? Then we get this scene where this guy's testing the trioxin chemical on this, amputated arm, and it's coming alive and shit. If you look closely, it looks like the trioxin is leaking out of the box. Like, you can see the smoke not only in the, case, but it's above it around him, which was weird. Like, is he gonna turn too? So then there's the dirt bike thing, the friends being really dramatic. You need to follow Lee or get out of the way. Like, he's all butthurt because his friend won't ride a dirt bike up a ramp. It's like, who cares? Like, if he doesn't want to do it, he doesn't want to do it. And so, but then his friend, he goes up the dirt bike ramp, and he crashes, hits his head on the ground, and it like knocks him out. He's unconscious. I guess the helmet didn't help him at all. And there's these hobos underneath this mega corporation. Like, how is there not security down there kicking these hobos out? This place has very bad security for a mega corporation that's trying to make like, nuclear weapons and some shit, like, zombie weapons and stuff. Like, they should have better security here. They didn't have good security in part 3 either, and they still don't have good security at these places in part 4. But these two hobos, they're cooking like the world's largest rat, if it is a rat, over a fire. There's a leak in one of the pipes for some reason. Now there's just a leak, a big old hole poked in one of the pipes, and it's like it turns the rat alive, and then the hobos get killed. Then they find out that their friend is dead, but they're lying to them. But this really, like, they got people working at the hospital for hybrid tech, like sneak some of your patients over here, and we'll just kill them. Really, like, they don't think they're ever going to get caught. And it's like, is this the first time they're doing it? And the friends find out all about it. So they pack up. We get like a gearing up montage. They're making fake IDs and they're like experts at it now all of a sudden. So they get there and they automatically bump into these two, zombie hobos. But they don't know they're zombies. They can't, right? Like, how would they know? They just look weird. And there's like, stop walking towards us. And then they just start opening fire on them and killing them just because they're walking towards them and they look weird. Like, they're just killing these hobos for looking scary, basically. It's like, and this Carlos guy, he is just gun happy. He's constantly firing that weapon. He has infinite ammo. He's constantly firing that thing, and he never reloads. That thing has more bullets than Loomis's revolver in Halloween 2. It has 7 bullets in it. Unrealistic. This guy, he has like 20 in his 6-round revolver. Bullshit. It's bullshit. So then the alarms go off and the girl's like, oh, we gotta shut it down because it'll alert the authorities and the cops will come in 10 minutes. Like, it takes 10 minutes after the alarm is set for the alarm to actually notify the cops. Why is that a thing? Like, it should automatically let the cops know. Not like, oh, in case it's a mistake, we'll give you 10 minutes to shut it down. It should be like, no, like, it would let the cops know right away. This 10-minute bullshit is just convenient writing for the movie. And then, like, their walkie-talkies just don't work all of a sudden for no reason. Like, oh, it's just a shitty walkie-talkie. It's like, it doesn't work anymore because of reasons. And so then, Carlos, he shoots the panel and it just lets all the zombies out. Whoops. And then, the two guards, there's like only 2 guards at this place. And the one guard gets his hair ripped off. The other one gets like disemboweled. And then I like how as soon as they finally get to their friend Zeke, who they went to the rescue, as soon as they rescue him, he gets bit right away on his neck. It's like, oh, thanks for saving me. Oh, shit, no. Does she actually fuck that security guard for her friends? Like, she's supposed to be, like, distracting the one guard while the other one's, talking to them on the walkie. But then when we get back to her, like, a half hour later, it looked like she actually banged that security guard just to help her friends out. Like, wow, she's dedicated to helping her friends. Like, I'll do anything. I'll suck a dick. And so then, like, the zombies, they start punching back. Like, they get in a fight with these zombies, and they're actually, like, throwing punches back. That doesn't seem like something zombies typically do in these movies. They never want to punch. They just want to eat. So it didn't really make sense that they were punching back, but whatever. And their friends are just getting taken out one after another. And it's like, holy shit, they're dropping like flies. And they don't really seem to care all that much. And I don't care either because I didn't really know them. The movie kind of flies by quick. There's not really much character setup at all. So you don't really care who's dying. And speaking of characters who you don't care if they die, the little kid Pyro, he's just a pyrotechnician, smart-ass kid who knows how to make flamethrowers. He's like 12 at best. He does nothing in this movie, really. And you just think, oh, he's going to make it because he's a kid. Nope. He gets his brains eaten, and awesome. That's awesome. Like, I don't care. Like, kill kids. I love it. You know me. I love it when kids die and when movies have balls to kill children. This movie had the balls to kill this kid. And so then we get the 2, like, uber zombies, soldiers or whatever, and it's like the parents of the main guy. It's like, Mom, Dad, and then he has this dilemma. He's like, I can't kill them. They're my parents. It's like, look at them. They're not your parents anymore, you moron. This main guy's a moron, and you can't help but, like, yell at the TV, like, shut the fuck up. Just shut up. And then they start, like, rappelling down the skyscraper. Like, this place is huge, and they have, like, enough rope from, like, the top floor that they were at to, like, go down the building. Like, they're like Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible, like, going all the way down the building. There's a really funny moment with this main guy. He's like, again, having a dilemma. He's like, I can't shoot this woman. She was the first one I had sex with. And then the other guy's like, come on. Everybody knows the first time sucks. Just shoot her. It's like, that's true. Everybody knows. The first time sucks. And yeah, then his little brother gets killed, and he never really has a moment of remorse. Like, as soon as he sees him dead, he's like, oh my gosh, what happened? They're like, just get in the car, shut up. And then the two uber zombies get killed, like, instantly. They're dead. And then Katie gets shot and killed. And that was a surprise. Like, oh shit, like the love interest of the film, she gets shot and killed. You thought that they were going to get together at some point at the end. But nope, that's not going to happen here. Not in my movie, as Sidney Prescott would say. And then we get this last second scare on the newscast. Like, the guy's like, and now sports. And then a zombie just comes in and attacks him. And then roll credits. And I like that the credits were playing like behind the scenes, like bloopers and footage of like their time on set. I thought that was kind of cool. So there you go. The Hockey Mask Award for Best Character in this movie for me was Becky, the hot dork, who's supposed to be a dork but is not really one. She was the best character. She was pretty funny. The Hanky Award for Worst Character in this movie is that dumbass Carlos, who's trigger happy. He's the one that causes this entire mess, and he just needs to learn how to lay his finger off the trigger. And the Clap Award for Best Scene in this movie is the shocking kill of the kid Pyro. Everything outside of the corporation building basically is my favorite part of the movie. Once they get outside the corporation, there's some zombie fights and gun action. And the hottest chick in this film, for me, was Katie, the love interest of the main character. And the Funny Bone Award for funniest moment is when Becky tases Pyro to save him. She's like, sorry, Pyro, I gotta tase you to get the zombie off of you. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on Return of the Living Dead, Necropolis. What are your thoughts on this film? Put it in the comments below. Are you a hater or are you a defender? Let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here, you can hit this like button and become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And until next time, Auf Wiedersehen.